Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching GEEKCASTER. I'm Michael 7 Michael. And today we've got
Corey Davis.
Taylor Leone.
all right.
Yay.
See, hear the
We
music.
back.
Yeah, dance to that imaginary music. Only I could hear. So we're gonna talk about gatekeeping. Gatekeeping in terms of the geek culture or nerd culture, if you so like to say
I
it
did.
so. So this is an interesting topic because we spoke about this off the air. And one of my points was it can't be done. You really can't do it. It's too popular at this point. And how could how can you gatekeep something that you don't have control over? What are you thinking? Taylor Leone, you're bubbling.
I swear that's not what he said last.
That's not what I said.
That's not what he said last time.
Oh,
He was
snap.
like, you need to gatekeep.
We
How
need
do
to
we
do
know
it.
when people like what we like. I'm like,
We,
so
we
y'all
need
can't
we need
just
to
talk
attempt. I mean,
normal about
in
a topic.
in internally. Okay, so we gave some examples just to get you guys can get some context. So, we talked about different people shaming, which is a totally different thing. Shaming
Yeah.
people because of like hitting people up online and saying you don't really like video games. What's your favorite video game? How far do you go back? Or you don't really like anime. Do you know this character, this character? Almost giving them a quiz, right? Say it again.
Yeah, like it's not even just online. Like let's say there's an anime club and it's more men than women. You're literally going to defend your anime card to these people when honestly you don't need to defend any of this stuff to anybody. And you don't have to really answer their questions of them quizzing you. I feel like, okay, if you want to tell a real fan from a fake fan, you really just have a normal conversation with them. You don't have to be like, well, what is your favorite da-da-da? Well, who did Sasuke do? Like, no, that's not, who got all the Dragon Balls? Like, come on, man, like, that's not, I don't feel like that's, allowing people to join the community, and I feel like, us as nerds, we're kind of just trying to, take revenge a little bit. That's what it kind of feels like against, the bullies and the people who are socially acceptable who are now getting into anime or have always been into anime but like lied about it. Because yes, like it was a real thing. We were really bullied about anime and there were people who really lied to others that they didn't like it because they didn't want to be a target. And I mean, like, yeah, on one end, people are like, oh, well, that's weak. I've always liked anime with my chest, da-da-da-da-da. And it's like, yeah, me too. But I also understand why a lot of people didn't feel comfortable in their environment talking about anime.
Right.
And I feel like when we continue on with this gatekeeping, it's really not allowing. It's like we are trying to make nerd culture stay this niche, small culture, when really all these things were started so other people could join, to make the community bigger, to bring us all together and to make normal people realize that cosplay is a real thing for everybody and that we all can do it because that's what we're preaching, right? Everyone can cosplay. So it's like back to like watching anime, anyone can watch anime, but us gatekeeping and not in the sense of, oh wow, like you like anime too? Like, okay, what's your favorite anime? What's your favorite anime? That's no issue. When people tell me to rank 5, and I'm sitting there like, who do I owe this to? It's kind of just like, what is your intention? Are you trying to, it's like they're trying to catch you up. Like, for me, I want to use an example. Let's say if you grew up like in rock music as a black person, how many white people came up to you asking if you knew the band on your shirt?
I've actually had that happen.
Yes, so that's exactly what it feels like being like a woman or a black person in these white con spaces. And so you're wearing an anime shirt. You're like, do you even watch that show? Do you even like anime? Who's the character on your shirt? Do you even know who that is? Like, I dead have gotten people like nerds stick their nose up at me because like I said I like one of their cosplays, but they didn't think I was a person who knew what I was talking about. Like, I've been disrespected by anime nerds, and I'm sitting here like, what you don't know is I know more than you, but okay.
I think we were talking about a lot, but we did touch a lot on it. It goes into like the generation where we grew up, we had to wait hours or run home from school or wait till the weekend or really late hours to catch our shows, where this generation, it's so readily acceptable. So I understand the need to communicate to find out what type of show you like. We dig into the minutia of it. Are you asking because you want to gatekeep, or are you trying to keep us out, or are you asking because this is the new thing that's in because everyone's talking about it? I think you do have to make that distinction because some people are only in it for the views and the enjoyment and just associated with it and not really into it. So there is a line of questioning that does happen. Does that questioning can go to the extreme, and that's when we get into gatekeeping? Yes, that happens. But I think generally we do talk to other people and ask questions because we're generally interested in you to see if you like this for you or you like this for a business.
When you say we, what do you mean by that? Who's we?
I think we, not we as in black people, I think we as in the human race. I think there are people, and that's why I said this has to go through distinctions. We as people is who I am referring to. And then we also have to separate those people because there are some people who go to the extreme and try to ask you, like you said, who wrote this episode, who did the score, who did the animation, who wrote and directed and produced this
Do
animation.
people go that far? That's crazy.
Yes.
Yeah, some people do go that far.
Wow.
And then there are some groups who are just normally like that because they like trivia. A lot of nerds do like trivia. What episode did Goku defeat Frieza? Because it's the type of group that they're in. They're asking trivia questions, and if you're a trivia nerd and you want to ask questions like that in that sort of group, so that's to be expected.
But y'all know that's not what I'm talking about, though.
No. I do know that's not what you're talking about, but we do have to give respect to that. There are different niches and different types of groups, and like I said, when that line of questioning does become extreme or abhorrent, that's when we have to, put the brakes on it. Like, whoa, that's a little too extreme.
Right. And then also, historically, like you said, that was part of the culture. Hey, do you know that episode? But the energy was, hey, do you know it? I know it, and I'm going to share this information. I'm so excited about it. I want to share that with you. Almost saying the same things, but now with the energy instead of, hey, do you know that Spock really da-da-da-da? Versus, hey, do you know that Spock, you see what I'm saying? It just comes from a total negative place. But the same thing. And that's to tell you the difference of the time.
So, remember comic book guy from The Simpsons?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Real
he was condescending and he was gatekeeping a lot of the time. It wasn't just, oh my god, I like this thing and I want to talk about this thing with you and da 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 da. Like, what I'm specifically talking about is when the intent is because they have judged and prejudged in their mind that you don't know what the heck you're talking about.
Right.
So they want to sit there and be like, sure you do.
Oh no,
sure.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with what you're saying, and I understand exactly what you're saying. I'm just saying that culturally it was different. Same line of questioning, but the energy was different. I don't know what happened. Maybe because cons became so popular and the cool kids invaded the space, and it's like they are, because it was always like, I'm cool So now they want to keep that in. Well, if I say all these things, I'm cool. I don't know. But the line of questioning was the same, but it wasn't nasty. It wasn't hurtful. It was, I'm sharing stuff with you. I'm so excited. Be excited with me. And this goes to the crowd chasers. I think that crowd chasing energy killed it because the crowd chasers do that. Oh, I just want to be better than you. I just want to show that it's this whole competition thing rather than a community.
Crowd chasers, fads, whatever you call it, it's just like it's the thing. Like when I grew up, I wore glasses since the 3rd grade. I used to get picked on because I had glasses. Now you have people who wear glasses to make themselves look like a nerd, and they don't even need glasses because there's no prescription. I need these to see. You need to take pictures. So there's a huge distinction in between the two. And so we're just asking, do you need those, or are you just wearing those? It goes into the same thing of anime. Do you like the show, or are you using the show to,
my god sister said something amazing. She was like, she thinks that people should be socially, like, I don't know, kind of like put down if they do that because you're like making fun of a disability by wearing fake glasses. You don't see anyone wearing, with a fake crutch.
It's being ableist. Are you saying it's like being ableist?
Yeah, it's like someone getting a wheelchair, someone walking around with a wheelchair to be cool. It totally makes sense.
You see them at Walmart. We use the little Mart carts, and they walk from their car to the store because they don't want to walk around the store. It's like, come on, someone else needs those.
Right.
It's crazy.
But that is interesting, though, how glasses became like a thing. I don't know. Well, do you think it will change? Do you think there's a way to guide the energy back to, hey, do you know such and such and such, but coming from a loving, inclusive place rather than competing, challenging?
I think it's honestly just vibing like a normal conversation. I had a normal conversation with this guy, and we were just talking about Hunter x Hunter. And just based on the conversation we had, you'd know that we both know what the heck we're talking about. Because we're enjoying this conversation about how much we love this show. That's really, like, it doesn't need to be a, like, I think in my head I'm kind of confused on the why do we even care about the people that are being fake about it. Like, I'm not sitting here worried about them. For real. I'm not sitting here worried about them or, going to sit there and be like, do you even like anime? Like, I don't have time to do that to anybody else because I'm here enjoying my best anime life. So it's just kind of like, it's really hard for me to like understand the questioning because for as long as I knew, even though I was a nerd and even though I enjoyed nerd culture, nerd boys continued to bully nerd girls and love to act as if we don't know what we're talking about, and they like to do it on a lot of different things. Anything that like a lot of people feel as if they have strong knowledge of, like let's say a robotics team, like AV Club Robotics back in the 80s. It was more like a boys thing. Like the first time a girl came in that mess, or let's say I even like comics. Do you know how much trash I get from men telling me that I don't know the comics because I didn't read them and I don't read every episode and do. I'm just like, yikes. Dang, y'all, I don't read comics every day, but I do my research, trust and believe, and I love comics. So I feel like it's just like the feeling of having to prove yourself to these people, or the feeling that these people owe you an explanation on what they like. I feel like the best way to go about it is just to be like, hey, like, what's your favorite anime, or what's your favorite type of anime? If it's going into just that basis of conversation without any like negativity or any like background thought, I feel like that conversation is going to go smoothly.
Well, in that situation, because you cut different things, were these all situations where guys were trying to impress you and date you or something, or just general?
No. Because these are situations where I've been in nerdy like We have a video game club at VCU, and the video game boys love to act like girls don't play video games. And you already know, in the video game world, girl gamers get a lot of trash. And they're like, oh, you're only here because you have big boobs. Oh, you only have followers because of da-da-da-da. You don't even really like gaming. Yeah, but I sit there and I stream for 12 hours. I'm like, what? You see what I mean? Like, it's a constant thing. And people trying to protect their niche, but also projecting things that have been done to them onto other people.
Right.
And that's why I mentioned earlier, like, I think it is a individual thing because, and also a generational thing, where we do seek out like energy. So that line of questioning does happen because I don't want to give you my energy if you're not all the way into this like I am. Right. And so I know it's a but it does.
It is real.
Line of questioning.
It is real.
It's very real though.
It is real. And also there's another part in there too with if the guys were, some people are literally, they're not even nerds, they're dweebs. They're socially inept to the extreme. So the only way they know how to communicate is to attack, or I gotta make sure she knows a lot about this because otherwise, otherwise I don't know how to
deal with that. No, not really. Like, these excuses you're coming up with from these men and these people, no matter what, that does not give you an excuse to project it onto somebody else. That does not mean that you're allowed to give this line of questioning. And I really, really, truly disagree with the fact that you need to go through a specific line of questioning to know if someone's really down for something or not. Because really all you have to do is have a normal conversation about the topic with a very general sense, and then let them speak their passion. If you don't see passion, you know in your head they're not down for it the way I am, and you move on to the next person and do the same thing. I feel like the questioning is
wait a minute. So what you're saying is it's not the questioning, it's how they're doing it. So you don't mind being questioned or someone kind of wheezing their way into your mind to see if you're really into it or not. It's just that they're doing it too abruptly. So if they did it slowly, then it would be acceptable.
Is that what I said?
Y'all watching the method. I said, y'all. She's saying she wants to be talked to and not questioned. It's two different mechanisms. I want to be talked about my show, and I don't want to be questioned about my show. And I do understand what you're saying about someone's insecurities because you're hurt or you've let too many wrong people into your life. Now you need to be guarded. But I think that's a natural human reaction. It does. It means a lot of things. It means like if I got slapped just for wearing glasses, and the next person that walks up to me, not to just have a conversation, I'm gonna flip. Right. Exactly. And it all comes down to individual experiences. And what I said earlier is just to find likewise energy. If someone is being defensive because that's their experience, you can't take that away from them because that's their experience. And if you want to find someone with a like experience, all you have to do is just keep looking forward. It does work on both sides. I understand that you are a woman and you have a completely different perspective and have completely different experiences than I do. But everyone has that same story. Like, you don't know what I went through or why I got to this place and why I'm asking you questions. Or if I come off as aggressive, it's not that I meant to project that way. It's maybe a side product. Maybe it's how I raised. Maybe it's my environment. There's a lot of different things that go on into each situation.
I have a really quick question. Y'all think I'm talking out my butt? Like there
we're agreeing with you.
Books.
We're just saying that
there's research on it. There's tropes on it, and we all know it.
Right,
so why? It's like you guys are kind of defending this really toxic behavior, and it's like,
I'm just saying there's levels to it.
They start, come on, y'all.
The point of this conversation is just to break it down to try to understand why. And the different reasons why. At the end of the day, it's still wrong. We're agreeing with you. No one should be like a machine gun hitting at anybody and making them feel uncomfortable. So we're agreeing with you. Just trying to explore the why. That's all. Y'all still recording?
So yes, the why is
Dayveonne.
A lot of butthurt, a lot of bullying,
Right.
And I get that. But again, it's not up to us to deal with someone else's hurt and how they decide to put that on other people,
Agreed.
And it's like, it doesn't matter how much I understand why someone is a grudge holding abuser, they still a grudge holding abuser.
So
So
pause for a second. So anybody watching this, that if you see somebody, we would like you to have a smoother approach. Don't be abrupt. Don't hit them with a machine gun of why this, why that. Observe a little bit, talk, have a conversation, be a human being. Because it's not nice.
there you go. And that's how you'll find out
Yeah.
if someone's as passionate about something
Right.
as you are. Because
Right.
let me tell you, like, I can say I like playing video games and I button mash all the time, but I don't
Right.
game all the time, y'all.
Now,
But-
can we have an episode talking about crowd? Not this one, but another next week. I want to talk about crowd chasers because I think they're ruining
Yes.
it a lot for a lot of people. I think half of that negative experience, those conversations, even though they're not done the right way, the blame are the crowd chasers. The ticket prices is the crowd chasers. The fact there's 20 cons a week, crowd chasers. A lot of our complaints, the problems are the crowd chasers. That's my theory. I'm sticking to it.
Okay.
And there's also a lack of fallacy for people like going if you're sympathetic or empathetic. A lot of people don't have either. And I think that's just a new thing. I don't think it's a new thing. I think it's more of a more commonly thing that we're seeing more and more in people. And maybe it's due to technology. Maybe it's due to society. How do we answer that question? I don't know. That's another point that Sailor, I'm sorry. I don't know why I said Sierra.
You know why you said Sierra. It's cool.
Sarah Leone, represent all day, every day.
Why Sailor Leone is trying to convey. And I get it, but how do we answer that question? Now we're talking like the whole human experience. How do you give someone more empathy? Can you even give someone more empathy?
Right.
Is it their job to be introspective and say, "Oh, I'm lacking in empathy. Let me raise that stat up"? Or
I think it's a double. It's a give and take, man. And it's an issue between people because we never really want to give anymore. Because if, let's say, you got hurt one time or you got hurt a few times, it's like, dang, you're kind of jaded at some point. But like, I feel like right now, in the day and age that we are, a lot of people don't care about other people. And we can honestly just see that in the fact that people still aren't wearing masks because they don't care. And that's hard, you know, especially because, like, growing up, I feel like media and everything just taught you to be really, really nice. You know, like, you focused really on American television. If you were nice, you were the better person. You know what I mean? Like, if you weren't the bad guy, you were a better person. But obviously, what the world shows us is bad people win all the time. Bad people get their way a lot of the time. And it's like, how do you combat that, you know? Especially now where people are becoming meaner and blaming things on their bluntness and saying that they're just keeping it real. When honestly, you can give a little bit of empathy towards someone. You can give the benefit of the doubt to someone. And I think it's honestly just based on the situation, if it's worth it.
I mean, we could take that back into society. Like, Spider-Man is supposed to be a hero, but yet the film Venom came out, and he's supposedly the anti-hero. No, he's a villain. Why are we saying he's an anti-hero when he's clearly not a hero at all?
Right.
Trying to recategorize that as the anti-hero. I get what you're saying.
Well, the Joker movie too, y'all.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
he's a villain, not
it,
an anti-hero.
I didn't watch it yet. I'm like, what you mean? She's like, he couldn't stop laughing. I felt so bad for him. I'm like,
you're like, what?
He's just sad and depressed. It's not his fault he's that way.
Right. Yeah, that's the problem with doing any kind of backstory of a villain, is that you still have to follow the principles of telling a story, and you still got to get people to care enough, and then go through.
What I tell you about these villains that got the good story, the good growth. I told y'all.
You told us? You sure you told us?
I'm gonna bring up a point you made last week about Killmonger not being the said villain. You can clearly see he was the villain. I'm still hurt by that comment, by the way, if you can't tell, because I'm wearing my Black Panther shirt today.
I'm wearing my Black Panther shirt, y'all.
Oh, did you guys see the video I put up of our reaction to? Well, we did 3 episodes on Black Panther, but we did one like maybe a week after the hype went down. Check out that episode. It's on. It actually should be on Instagram. If it's not on Instagram, I think a piece of it's on Instagram, but the full video is on GEEKCASTER Network on Facebook. So check that out. Some of the things that were said were kind of interesting. So
Okay, I'll check that out.
yeah, I'm curious, especially now that they're working on Black Panther 2. Maybe we can be a help to make sure they get it right 100% for the next one. Even though you think they got it right 100% for the first one.
I think they got 95% right on the first one, and I
Okay.
think they're gonna go 98.
Guys, people on Facebook can't see us no more.
What?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh,
stopped
it
streaming.
said it ended. Interesting. Hold on a second. Even though we're cutting to the end, we could still give them a few more minutes because we're almost gone. Let's see. Yeah, Facebook be
Ask them
messing
to
up.
ask us questions.
Okay, it should
Dang,
be.
I hate looking at my mannerisms on my screen. I like did this whole like, oh my god.
Well, what we
How-
could do.
You can get the cameras there.
So we're partially filming for cable as well. So what we could do is the 4 minutes end this, but we could keep going for those people and answer any questions if you want to do that. But it should be working now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, it's up.
Yep, I see it.
Boom. All right. Well, give everyone your
Oh.
social media, but we'll stay on. But give everyone your social media.
My social media is IAMGT3. That's IAMGT3. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, on all the things.
I am Sailor Leone Cosplay on Facebook and Instagram. On Twitter, I am Sailor Leone. Like Sierra Leone, but Sailor.
And I am Michael without all that, but Michael, the number 7. Michael on Instagram, and you could also go to GEEKCASTER on Instagram. And again, I'm going to play a little music. But we're still gonna stay. We're gonna stay a little longer, just because Facebook and their thing, and maybe answer a few questions live. Alrighty, let's pump up some of this there.
We have a great cast.
Actually, you could get Dayveonne to join in while because he's bubbling.
Is he gonna jump in?
Yeah, he could jump in.